up and good evening, guys. Welcome back to another video. I know we've been mixing it up with construction content lately, and for those of you that have been missing the vehicle content, well, boom, we are back, and we're back with a vehicle I have been waiting to unveil the plan for to you guys for the longest time, and tonight is going to be the night. I finally have the rendering back from our friends over at Innovate Design Lab, and I cannot wait to show you guys. Trust me, you are not gonna wanna miss this. This thing is gonna be so sick. It's gonna be so different from anything I've ever done. Oh, I'm excited to show you. But first, before we do that, we actually gotta jump into the Bronco here and start tearing the dash apart. And by we, I mean Zach, because you guys know I'm terrified of tearing brand new stuff like this apart, especially because there's all types of plastic clips and crap that have to pop off, and as we all know, if I do it, it's gonna break. If Zach does it, things are probably gonna go pretty well. So we're gonna jump in, start tearing this thing apart, because we've got a couple cool little things we're gonna be adding, and those are right here from our friends over at Banks. They have sent out the PedalMonster, which I have zero experience with. You guys are probably more familiar with like Pedal Commander. They became like giant in, I don't know what the correct terminology for this stuff is, but we're gonna call this throttle pedal response quickeners. And we got Zach pulling up in a Dmax right there. So anyways, Pedal Commander came out with theirs, and then like anything, Banks really delves in on the engineering side of things, and well, they've got their own here. So we're gonna check this out. I've never run one of these. We've also got the Banks iDash, which this will allow us to view a lot more gauges, a lot more parameters and stuff that's going on with the vehicle. We've got us here, a single gauge pod mount kit, suction cups to the windshield. I don't know if I'm supposed to tell you guys or not, but there's gonna be some cool mounting options coming for the Bronco here soon. So we'll get that once they come out, but for now we're going with the suction cup. Zach's dressed like it's 20 degrees. But it's not that far off of 20 degrees. It feels like it.
It was nice today, and then it wasn't.
Yeah. Before we do the unveil of the rendering and give you guys the entire plan, let's see, if we don't break anything here first. Now, you guys will be happy to see I have upgraded, because the plastic was getting so bad on the actual butt portion of the seat here, I ended up having to rip it off. So we've upgraded here to a nice Costco flannel, jacket that I had. The reason that's on there is because, well, you guys know we're building a restaurant. I'm doing a ton of steel work. I've been taking the Bronco because the Bronco is really nice to park. That being said, I end up very dirty every single day, just covered in all the grease and grime that, steel inherently has. And well, I don't want to cover my seats in that. So one of my old jackets here has made the sacrifice. And for everybody saying, Ryan, why don't you get seat covers? Well, I don't like seat covers. I ordered the seats that I wanted, which are these super nice, black leather seats. In fact, that's why I downgraded. I don't know if it's downgraded, but I went from a Wild Track to a Badlands, because with the Wild Track, you couldn't get the all black interior like I wanted. So we switched over to the Badlands to get that. So I'm not gonna cover that up with some other seat cover. Instead, I'll run a sweet flannel on it, and then you can kind of see, through the plastic there, that I got the seats I wanted. And I kind of like that it pisses everybody off.
That's the #1 reason. It has nothing to do with all the stuff that he just said. It's just to piss you off.
So we just watched a video right now on how to pull these dashes apart on this Bronco, and there's like 8,000 pieces that have to come off. So we're gonna try and do it the least invasive way possible, because there's just no point in tearing this dash completely apart. And not that you need to run the PedalMonster, but to get the iDash where we want it, you're gonna have to figure out a way to route some wiring. Let's get this bugger opened up here. Dun, 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 dun. Remove before dealer visit. Before taking a vehicle to dealer for a visit, be sure to remove PedalMonster. Watch this short uninstall video. Okay, so we can do a little plug and play, OBD2, OEM pedal harness. All right, so we got us in the box here. Let's see, we got the actual PedalMonster itself. I don't know how you change any settings on this thing, I should probably do a little further research here. I should probably just scan this QR code. That probably tells me everything I need to know. We got another wire here. We got zip ties, and then Banks always has really, really high-end stickers. They're like, I don't know what, bubbly-ish stickers. Install instructions, guys. I found the install instructions here. Oh, okay, so we got an app for this. Again, I know nothing. I've done no research on the PedalMonster. And so I was wondering how you change it. So on the Pedal Commander, you can actually change it physically on the device, or you can pay for the Bluetooth version, which allows you to do it on your phone. We've learned, don't do it while the vehicle's running, or you throw all kinds of crazy code. Banks is supposed to have basically built a foolproof version. So the Pedal Commander, if you start messing with it, it'll throw codes, put your vehicle in limp mode, and just, I've experienced it. Banks has like all kinds of fail safes in here that don't allow that to happen, and basically disable this before your vehicle gets disabled. I hope I'm wording that right. I don't know. Zach, am I wording that right?
Sure.
Okay.
It shuts itself off before it shuts you off.
Yeah, we're experts here.
So it takes this much stroke and turns it into that.
Yeah.
So when you sneeze, you do a burnout.
And then when you try to like park in your garage, you go through your house.
Yeah.
Okay.
Or do a burnout.
And then go through your house.
Yeah,
Okay. So it looks like you can change the settings on this one from the actual app, or if you have the iDash, which is what we're going to be installing, it ties into the iDash too. So that'd be pretty cool. You know, I don't like things that connect to your phone. For whatever reason, I have horrible luck with it. Things never connect for me, or like there's a delay.
Or they never unconnect.
Yeah, dude, okay, let's just talk. Like the old Sync 3 on the Ford here, and their infotainment system and how it links to your phone with the wireless CarPlay. That's all great and all, but if you guys don't know, wireless Apple CarPlay runs off of Wi-Fi. Well, this thing is the most stubborn Wi-Fi in the freaking world, and if you're connected to it and you try to disconnect, it does not let you. So where I live, I have very little cell service. So like if I get in the car in the morning and I'm trying to, you know, fire it up and I want to get some, you know, music going off of Spotify or whatever it may be, I need to be connected to the house's Wi-Fi. Well, this Wi-Fi overrides the house Wi-Fi. So I'll try to disconnect from the Bronco to reconnect to the house, and the Bronco's like, no, you're staying connected to me. And then it never lets me disconnect. And I like get so frustrated with this stupid thing. You know, I've driven this thing for over 7,000 miles now, which that's like the fastest I've ever put miles on any vehicle I've ever owned. And there's a lot of little things about this thing that piss me off. Number one, the Sync 3 and the wireless CarPlay and all that, whatever. That gets really annoying, but I can live with that. The other thing is the HVAC system. So everything in here is computer controlled, obviously. You know, you wanna turn your heat up, you wanna select from your feet to your defrost to whatever, it's all computer controlled. One thing I have noticed is, if you try to go from like, the lights are on.
That's it.
The lights are on. Okay, the lights suck in here too. All right, let me go back out here. Anyways, if you're trying to switch from, let's just power her up here for a second. So when I go to adjust from like feet to hands, whatever, upper, lower, whatever you want to call it on the HVAC stuff, there's plenty of times it will not go to just feet only. It'll keep blowing out of here. And actually the other day, both sides, you know, you got your little dual climate zones here. Both, that's two sides right there. Both were on low. One side was pumping out cold air, one side was pumping out hot air. It was like the blender door didn't kick over, which I remember like the 05 Chevy days, that was a thing. Not the 2021 Ford days. Little things like that, and again, I get it, it's a first generation. This is why you never buy a first generation. Well, if you want to be a YouTuber, you gotta buy first generation crap. All right, buddy, what do we, oh, that looks like a pretty good passageway up there. Huh?
Yeah.
All right.
No, it doesn't look like it was as bad as we were like, oh no.
Well, I mean, we watched a video of a guy tore like 83,000 things to get his dash off, but he was doing a stereo system and going way further apart.
Okay, and then you're gonna pop this out. It might sound like it's breaking, but it's not. And I'm like,
I can only imagine how fun it would be to find replacement parts for these things right now.
you think there's replacement parts? They don't even have the parts that make them.
Right. Okay, so while Zach's doing his planning over there, let's open up the iDash, because that's what we're actually gonna have to route up onto the windshield here. All right, so we've got the Banks iDash here. Now, if you guys have followed the channel for a while, you know I have one of these in my gray OBS. This thing's cool. Shows you a lot of parameters, EGTs, trans temp, all kinds of cool stuff, whatever you want. I don't know how many programmable things you can put in here, but I'm assuming it's kind of limitless to whatever your OBD2 port can put out. This thing will, you know, be able to read it and display it for you. Look, they're nice enough to make the cable flat because they know you're squeezing this somewhere up in your dash and into tight places. So flat cable is where it's at. So good on you, Banks, for that one. That's how you know it's done right here, ladies and gentlemen. We got plenty of zip ties. They put a viewing port while people work on your car here. You can watch them.
I like it because you have to open up the viewing port. They can't just stand in front of a window and make you feel uncomfortable.
You still got PTSD from your old job? All the times I'd stand in that window and be like, is Zach done yet? Is Zach done yet?
We used to call that window the fish tank. Because when you look through it and somebody's standing there watching, you feel like a fish.
There you go, buddy. One iDash, complete with sweet background. Can we just leave it with like the cool scenery? Oh, dude, perfect. Sold. All right, we got the little wire fisher slash grippy thingy.
Oh, it's stuck. Uh-oh.
Uh-oh. All right, so Zach's got the one cable through. He is now running the other cable right there. Look at that little reflection of the GoPro going on there. Oh, there she goes. There she goes. Maybe.
Ta-da.
Alrighty, the iDash is in. Zach's putting some panels back on. Obviously, we still got to connect everything down there to the OBD2 port, to itself, to the throttle sensor, and all the goodies.
Most of that's done. I just gotta plug the iDash into the pedal controller monster deal, the little underdash monster.
Can I turn it on, buddy? Okay, let's see.
Push the button.
Let's see what happens.
Hello, wake up. Thank you.
There we go. Okay, she's awake. So Zach's programmed one of these before when he did the OBS. I've honestly never delved into it. He got all like the parameters I wanted to see, so I've never even had to touch the thing. It just works. Ooh, we got the PedalMonster. Stock.
No,
Ooh, look at that. Depressed gas pedal completely. So I was watching the install video for this, and they're showing like kind of how to use the app and all that stuff. And the cool thing about the PedalMonster is it has a reverse function, which I think you can turn on and turn off. So if you want this, it has it. If you don't want it, it doesn't have it. But basically, it'll eliminate the faster pedal response when you have the vehicle in reverse. That way you don't end up plowing into something behind you, which is cool because these things get really touchy. Again, I've never experienced a PedalMonster, but I've dealt with Pedal Commander. I'm excited to see how this one compares, but they get very touchy if you're not used to it. Definitely don't give your vehicle to like a valet, or I'm sure it's probably one of the reasons they tell you to take it off before you take it to the dealer, but you don't want somebody to drive it that's unsuspecting. Put it back to stock or warn them that the pedal response is much quicker.
I'll tell you how many boosts you got. Look, see, it's in vacuum, and then you...
Dude, okay.
We can do just...
Spin them little turbos.
Just boost pressure.
Okay, boost pressure. Okay, let's see what that says.
See?
Okay.
It won't say anything.
We get 1 PSI out of my little baby turbos. Okay.
You got 85%, 14 volts in your battery. There's your coolant temp.
Okay, okay. I like the percentage on the fuel. That's kind of cool. So, again, you could pick a million different things you want these gauges to be.
So, instead of like, say, that, you can go in and you can either category or group. So it's like, oh, you want exhaust system, fuel pressure, transmission. So you could do like trans temp.
Yeah.
The gear, trans slip, gear commanded.
Oh, put the PedalMonster on there.
Boost percentage, power level.
Yeah, so that bottom right corner right there is the PedalMonster power level. Oh, we are in.
There it is.
Reverse, select safety. Simultaneously, we change it there. Changes in the bottom right corner.
Load percentage is fuel, so we could do your level and then which one it's on. So it would show you like standard, sport, track.
All right, so Zach got it set up now. So you can see at the bottom it says CTY for city. And that'll tell us what mode we're in. Let's go to sport. Look at that. Sport. And then we got track. Now you know what that means, buddy.
Burnouts?
We gotta go test it.
Hit 88 miles an hour. Go back to the future.
I put this really heavy case of water right here to smush us when we go too fast. All right, so we're in reverse here, which means it should disable. Granted, we don't need any throttle to pull out of the shop.
What does it say on the thing?
It says reverse mode.
Yeah, I mean,
all right. What are we in? We're in track. Okay. We don't mess around. We're going just as much. I barely touch the pedal right now. This thing wants to go. Probably put a seatbelt on for this one.
Hey, you know, that's pretty much how it is driving my truck on the very, very small tune.
All right, hold on. We'll go from dead stop at this wall.
Yeah.
We could face the other way.
We got like 20 feet.
Here, shut it right there.
We got like 20 feet. Oh, and it shuts off?
Oh yeah, hold on, I forgot. We gotta tune this out of there. Let's get that stupid auto shut off out. Okay. Oh, look at the shift light. We got a shift light.
Perfect.
I mean, it definitely feels way quicker. You know, these 2.7s ain't the fastest things in the world.
It's making a whole 90 horsepower.
But you definitely feel like if you just barely tap it, this thing wants to go. But that's before the turbo starts to spool up and you got a little bit of turbo lag. Then once you get past that turbo lag, the thing's a rocket. Should be exciting. We're merging into traffic. PedalMonster out of the way.
That's gonna be where you're gonna feel the throttle response. Is when it's already up in RPM and the turbos are spinning.
Oh, we broke them loose a little bit. Oh yeah. Yeah. Okay, get your turbo spooling, and then this thing's a rocket ship. I'm a fan, guys. I'm a fan. I'm just gonna leave it on track mode 10 all the time. So bear with me, guys. We don't have a TV set up in the shop anymore. That's in the guest house right now. So we're going a little bit old school and a little bit ghetto, but we're gonna try and edit this to make this work. So we've got our Apple TV hooked up to a projector that Zach bought off of Amazon. And well, I'm gonna show you just a sneak peek. Right over there is the Bronco. And I'm gonna edit over top of it a high quality image. So hopefully this works and I'm pointing in the right spots. Otherwise, weird stuff's gonna happen. But now's the time. I'm so excited. I've been holding on to this secret for a while on the Bronco build. I've had the rendering for a couple weeks now, and I cannot wait to finally unveil this to you guys. I'm actually gonna set the GoPro up over here. That way we're not moving around and I can edit this. Alrighty, y'all, I am super stoked to present to you guys my 2021 Bronco build. Now, I told you guys it's gonna be unlike anything we've ever done on the channel here, and the reason being is it's gonna be my first off-road purpose-built vehicle. You guys know I come from the show truck world. Everything I've had is polished, nice, beautiful. Not that this isn't gonna be, but none of it was meant to go beat up off-road. Albeit my Denali has been put through the paces in the mud, in the snow, in the sand, and that thing has been just an awesome all-around truck. But I've always wanted a smaller, more nimble, quick, fun off-road pre-runner style build, and that is what we have here in my 2021 Bronco build. Now we've got a little bit here we got to unfold, so let's just dive into it. And again, hopefully this edits right and I'm not like putting my hand over top of the picture, which I probably am, or underneath the picture, I don't know, whatever. So first things first, suspension wise on this thing, we are going with the Baja Kits pre-runner suspension setup. That's what they're calling it. They're calling it the pre-runner suspension. So it's not a long travel kit. We're gonna call it more of a mid-travel kit. It's got 11 inches of travel up front. There's not a whole lot of details on the rear. There's actually not a whole lot of details on the kit itself. I've been in contact with Baja Kits, and I ordered this kit back in December when they first released these things under pre-order, and they're supposed to be available early this year, and they're pretty close to getting the first couple of kits out. In fact, I think they're actually working on their own Bronco right now, test fitting a kit. So I'm hoping we have the kit very, very shortly. Now, this kit also widens the track width. It widens it by 3 inches per side. So the front track width is gonna end up being 6 inches wider. And the reason I wanted to go this style over like just a standard lift kit is, as you guys know, I bought the ranch, I live on a dirt road, and I got so sick of getting beaten up by the suspension in my old trucks driving down the dirt road every day. And that's kind of why I bought the Bronco, was I wanted something that I could turn into an off-road vehicle that can float down my dirt road and I'm comfortable in daily driving. Now, at the time of this rendering, there wasn't a whole lot of information on the Baja Kits rear suspension setup, and there's still not a ton of information, so bear with us on like the details on the rear suspension. We don't have a whole lot to go off of, let alone the front. There's really not that many pictures out there, so the guys over at Innovate did a great job of just kind of pulling out of the air what they think this kit is gonna look like. And speaking of looks, you probably noticed the very prominent accent color that we have here on the Bronco, and I'll show you where that came from. Coming to you a little closer here. Now, you guys may or may not know, over at workforitapparel.com, we sell these super sweet Work For It billet bottle openers. Blue collar bread on one side, Work For It on the other. And we offer them in a couple of different anodized colors, and one of which is this anodized purple. And I don't know what it is about this color, but as soon as I saw these things show up, I freaking fell in love with this color. So everything you're seeing there is an anodized purple color. We're gonna have to find a powder coat that matches it, because obviously you can't anodize non-billet aluminum parts, but I think we'll manage to find something pretty dang close. Now, there's a few details on here that are still to be determined, one of which is the wheels. I think I've got them picked out. It is not exactly what you see here, but it'll be similar in style, and it's gonna have the anodized purple beadlock ring that you see around there. As well as we're gonna tie that purple in a couple of other places. I didn't wanna go too crazy with the anodized purple, just enough to keep it cool, show that everything is custom, but not overdo it. Kind of like we did with the BBB. We didn't go too crazy with the copper, but it was just enough to catch your attention and draw your eye. The other thing that's gonna be to be determined is the front bumper setup. Now, obviously, you know, going pre-runner, I wanna go with the real pre-runner truck style bumper. I don't know exactly what that's gonna look like. I'm actually gonna talk to a couple of guys that build them for pre-runner trucks and let them come up with something cool. So in the meantime, this is kind of what Innovate came up with, just to give us a rough idea of what we can do bumper-wise. Moving on up to the light bar. Obviously, you know, we gotta have lights on this thing. I'm not a fan of rectangle light bars. They were cool back in, you know, the early 2000s when they first came out, and everybody was mounting them on the roofs, and then all the Chinese ones came out, all the knockoffs, and then everybody just went way too wild with it. They got really played out, in my opinion. I like how now we're going back to the old school style, the big circular lights. Granted, nowadays they're all LEDs and they're really sick, but that's the style I want to go with here. I want this to look like a pre-runner truck, and that means we're gonna go circular LED lights. I think I have what brand I'm gonna use in mind, and speaking of brands, you'll notice if you look around my rendering here, you don't see like a bunch of company names on here. The reason being is I don't have any sponsors on this build. I don't really go seeking out sponsors. I know everybody thinks like the YouTube channel, oh, it must be nice, we just hit up all these people and ask for free stuff. That's not me. In fact, I could show you the Baja Kits pre-order where, you know, there's not even a, hey, you guys wanna give me a discount? Like, no, I pay full price for stuff. I don't even talk to companies until after I've ordered stuff. And in doing so, I don't owe anybody anything. So you're not gonna see, you know, a bunch of sponsor names on stuff and then all of a sudden like, you're signing contracts and all that stuff. I don't like that. I like to be free. I like to do what I want. If a product sucks, I want to be able to tell you guys it sucks without having a contract that says like I got to promote something like it's great. Now granted, I am always transparent. The stuff that our friends over at Banks sent us today, they did send me for free, but I have a great relationship with Banks. I've got their parts on my OBS. I've got their parts on the Denali. Me and the guys over at Banks have gotten along great over the years. So I'm not gonna say that there's not gonna be a chance companies are gonna send parts for this at some point throughout the build. Now, since we're gonna be wider, 3 inches per side in the front, and again, I'm not exactly sure what's happening in the rear. We gotta be able to compensate for that with our fenders. So we're gonna be running ADV fiberglass fenders. I had originally planned on the 5-inch fenders, but in emailing with them and talking with them, there's another option that we're gonna be doing. We're not gonna be doing the 5-inch, and they haven't really released it yet. I don't know if I can release it yet, but when the time comes for that, you guys will see it. So instead of having just weird fender flares, especially like the ugly ones that they put on the Bronco Raptor, these are actually one-piece fiberglass molded in fender flares, and everything's gonna be painted to match instead of just having black textured plastic, because I hate that look. It's gonna be real smooth, real sleek, everything will blend in. They're gonna be front and rear fenders, and it's still gonna maintain that factory-ish look, but it's gonna be much more aggressive. Now, obviously, we're gonna have a lot of little details. You know, you probably noticed the R in Bronco is gonna be painted the purple, and there's gonna be some interior details that kind of match. Now, for the tires, the cool thing about the Baja Kit setup is it allows you to run 35s and or 37s. If you guys know me, bigger is better. Now on a setup like this, I don't know if bigger necessarily is better, but I'm gonna do my damnedest to run 37s comfortably, assuming we can fully turn, assuming the vehicle likes it. I know we're gonna have to beef up the steering on these things because I've already seen those tie rod ends just go crazy. They don't like bigger tires, but I think assuming we can beef all that up and parts exist, I would love to get away with a 37-inch tire on this thing. And you might notice that is not a Toyo MT tire on there. We're gonna be doing things different. Now, for the shocks in the front, coming with the Baja Kits is going to be some King 2.5 adjustable coilovers, which I think is gonna be cool. Now, as of very recently, Baja Kits actually added some options to the rear, one of which is a bracket to allow you to run not only a coilover, but also a bypass shock. And I would freaking love that setup, but I don't know if we're gonna be able to get that in time. I mean, we will eventually have that setup, but everything is so delayed. I believe King Shocks right now, according to Baja Kit's website, is 40 weeks out if you order King Shocks. Now, again, I'm hoping my order in December, I don't know how many weeks that is, but I don't think it's 40 up till now. It means like my King Shocks are gonna be ready. I have a feeling we're gonna be quite a ways out before we get the whole rear bypass setup done. Like, I'm so stoked to finally be doing an off-road build. You guys have no idea. Now, you guys know as builds go on and as things happen, things evolve. So this is my starting point. And again, you can kind of see how ghetto we're here in the shop. But this build is gonna evolve as we go on and as we start tearing things apart and as I see other parts that I wanna add and as new things come out, because Broncos are still very new and parts for these things are still very scarce. So as new products come out, we'll probably be adding them to the build, and the build's just gonna continue to get even cooler and cooler and cooler. But man, am I so freaking stoked at what this thing looks like and how this thing is gonna turn out. And for whatever reason, I don't know why, this purple combined with the carbonized gray, I think is gonna be super cool. I have a feeling once people see this, I'm not gonna be the only guy that's gonna run purple accents on carbonized gray. I bet we're gonna see it after this video goes live. If you guys see it, you know, came from here first. And hopefully you guys are also excited about this. I know a lot of you guys like Chris's truck, and Chris's truck is very like clean off-roady. It's not a full pre-runner build, but it is clean, it's functional off-road, and I want this to be that, but stepped up a notch, if that makes sense. I want it to be clean, I want it to be very off-road capable, and like practical-ish, but also have a fun toy that we can go rip around on, you know, at Superstition, in the desert, whatever it may be. So right now, all we're waiting on is parts. Once that suspension kit shows up, we're gonna tear this thing apart, get the suspension put on. The fiberglass fenders are gonna be a little bit behind because we're waiting for the new stuff that they're gonna be dropping. Light bar, I think we're gonna have a custom light bar built, not the factory ones that I'm seeing a lot of people use. I don't like when light bars sit too high on a roof line. I like when they come down on the windshield a little bit. So I know we're gonna have to make something custom because nobody offers that yet. All the ones that are out there right now sit too high for my liking. And then again, we're gonna have to find somebody to build the bumpers, but I don't want the bumpers built until we have the fiberglass fenders on, so I know that everything ties in body line wise and everything looks great. So it's gonna be a lot of steps to this process. I'm very excited to get it started. This Bronco has been stocked for way too long. I can't stand it. We need to do something to it. And I'm very thankful for you guys for following along on all of my vehicle journeys and my construction journeys and the ranch journey and every other crazy, stupid thing that we do, like this super sweet gooseneck trailer mini truck combo you see behind me that I need to finish. But with that, we're gonna wrap up as always. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you're not subscribed already, make sure you guys subscribe so you do not miss out on this build. Don't forget to give this video a like, a thumbs up. Don't forget to check out our friends over at Banks and all the cool stuff that they make for all of your vehicles. Don't forget to check out workforitapparel.com because if there's anything you want in this life, you gotta be willing to work for it. I'm working my butt off to be able to pay for all these parts on this thing. And I know you guys do too for your vehicles. Y'all are the best. I'm out.
Damn. Yeah. Yeah.